Hi, my name is Darren from HCJ.tax, and we're the team that seeks to demystify that sometimes confusing world of international tax. And today we have the honor and privilege of speaking with George. George, can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Darren. My name is George Dimov. I'm a certified public accountant, and I have a team of 14 senior professionals. And what we do is the same type of thing: demystify taxes as much as possible, and with a focus in international and typically complex situations.
Fantastic.
When it comes to NRAs, non-resident aliens, foreign nationals or foreign entities doing business in the U.S. and they set up U.S. structures, it could be an LLC, it can be a C Corp. And as part of the filing, sometimes what is a form that seems to be often overlooked is the 5472. Have you encountered that? Do you have any thoughts or comments on that?
Yeah. So if you are a U.S. corporation, okay, or you own a U.S. corporation, and you have at least 25% foreign ownership, either directly or indirectly, okay,
Yeah.
you have to file this 5472. Okay. And I always, and this is, the exact same thing that we talked about earlier in the show is I recommend, if you're not sure, sometimes over compliance might be good. Okay, not in all cases, but sometimes over compliance might be good. You file your 5472 and you don't have to worry about this. Remember, there's a $25,000 penalty per year per entity with possible additional penalties if not corrected. Okay.
Sure.
So I've been approached with people that have filed it late, okay, or filed the 1040, pardon me, their 1120 form for the corporation for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden realized they needed to complete a 5472 and started at a later year and got dinged for the previous years. Okay, I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen with partnerships too. Okay, with related partnership forms. And this happened just because of the date. They just put, date that this happened was some previous, and it got backdated, and all of a sudden you get backdated penalties. So I've seen people approach me with 25, 50,000 and more in IRS penalties plus interest. Okay, for not filing this. So it's extremely important. If you have, I see this all the time. Chinese person, I'm using China as an example again, just because they're so common in the United States. But with clients that we have so many Chinese clients, and we have fluent Chinese speaking staff. By the way, just a comment here, I'm sure Darren has this firm as well. We speak over a dozen languages at our company. So we have people that have maybe an elderly relative in Korea or in China or whatever other country that's now living in the United States. They need help with their tax. We can provide some foreign language support. But that aside, I see very, very, very often where there is an investor that has come in, and on the capitalization table for the entity, you see some foreign names and some foreign people. Are these U.S. people? If they're not U.S. people and they own more than 25% foreign ownership, you have to file that form. So it's very important that you brought that up. I see this missed all the time, and I was giving the example of the Chinese student that came here, started working and started living here and established residency later on through a job or something else, and then creates a C Corp here, and their wealthy uncle or their wealthy father in another country decides to put money towards that company and has this foreign ownership. Well, make sure that you have an accountant that knows about this. And Darren, this is something that I see all the time. I'm sure you see this all the time as well. People just use any accountant they find. And what I found, and I find this by interviewing experienced staff, we've reviewed just in the last couple of years something like 18,000 resumes for people that have tried to apply at my company.
Wow.
And it's crazy. And don't even ask how much I've had to pay to Indeed, the platform, to for these resumes. But it's been expensive looking for good people. But one thing I found is very few tax accountants have experience in complexities, period, especially ones that are international. But even your common domestic ones like equity or K1s or, equity is a big one. And this equity is also very common in foreign situations too. Because a lot of the professionals coming from these other countries to the United States have been working at either technology or finance companies that provide equity as a component of the pay. So, to summarize that answer, make sure in 5472 compliance, I see it missed all the time. If you have a business that's US corporation, you have foreign investors, double, triple check that. Make sure you have this form.
Fantastic. Thank you for that.
George, if someone wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
My website is a great way. You can go on our website, which is Dimov Tax. It's my last name. That's EIMOV tax.com. or you can send an email directly at info@demofftax.com. Those are two great ways to get in touch with us. We also have a phone number. You can also call us. And the best phone number is 833-829-1120. That's +1 833-829-1120.
Fantastic. Thank you.